Dekat checkpoint lah. Lenggang. Lenggang Johari. Johari, dia buat apa? Balik? Bila? Atuk belum boleh balik. Nanti boleh balik Atuk balik Boleh tak?
March 16th, Malaysia announces a movement control order in a bid to reduce the soaring COVID-19 infection rates.
The Malaysians will not be able to leave the country. The restriction of movement order imposed by the Malaysian government includes Malaysians who commute to Singapore for work or study.
Under this order, Johari cannot travel abroad for 14 days. If he does, he must undergo 14 days of quarantine when he gets home. For the 60-year-old who commutes daily for work, the news is devastating.
And what we're really seeing here is a massive disruption to people's lives. For these 300,000 people whose lives straddle the border, there's so much uncertainty about what this lockdown means for a lot of these people.
Johari had to make a choice: stop work and stay with his family in Malaysia, or move to Singapore.
People panic. I can see their face. They're very sad, but they got no choice. Because they need to work, they need to earn. So they have to come back to Singapore as soon as possible at that night. At that time when I left JB, I'm not too sure when that I will be coming back.
Like Johari, there are over 45,000 Malaysians working in Singapore. But with the borders closing, only 22% have decided to live in Singapore for the time being. These are the stories of those who chose to stay.
Many places also I see, Singaporean no need to do this cleaner job. Every place also I go is foreigners, Malaysian people only can do this job. Singapore see the team, he don't want to do. Now also I go to clean the table. Sometimes the people use the tissue. I want to throw also. I think I want to kena or I scared. Thinking my family only. I say I pray to God only.
Priya is one of 58,000 cleaners working in Singapore. While most of us avoid contact with surfaces, she must spend 10 hours a day deep cleaning them. Priya uses harsh chemical solvents to disinfect the surfaces.
The smell is very hard one, but cannot do anything, must do my job properly. Now, very tired also. Some more many job also want to do, right? Very tired. Sometimes lunchtime also sit down also, the manager is asking to Priya, please come to help clean the table. Must go, I cannot say, cannot.
As Singapore's infection rates continue to climb, demand for disinfecting public and private spaces has tripled in the last month. Priya now works longer hours, cleaning floors, windows, toilets, railings, door handles, and high-touch areas.
Now my children now very scared. My husband also stays in Singapore, he's so very scared. I do the cleaner job.
Hi, good morning. Just wake up at 5 a.m. Feel a bit tired. Anyway, I can sleep better compare when I wake up in the morning at Johor around 4:30 a.m. Now I wake up ready for the work.
60-year-old Johari has dedicated his entire career to working for the same medical tech company in Singapore. Since the outbreak of the virus, BD Singapore has scaled up their manufacture of medical equipment. Considered an essential service, they have remained open during the circuit breaker.
Today main activity is 1 ml plunger.
Since the coronavirus, our output are going up about 20 to 25%, because we are supporting those doctors, nurses, and those hospitals around the world.
Not everyone like Johari decided to come back to Singapore. His company is running on 20% less manpower due to workers remaining in Malaysia.
We have duty to do, responsibility, right, to support the country and support the company as well.
Second son. Yes.
Family, Okay, no problem. The COVID-19 get worse and worse. Every day we can see the trend become higher. So I think, like people like us, we have to sacrifice certain things, especially our times with the family, times that we need to come back to work. This is my third son, this is my daughter, this is my first son, elder one.
Johari's salary supports his 5 children and 6 grandchildren. They all remain unable to work and earn due to Malaysia's movement control order. But just as Johari thinks the stint away from his family will only last 14 days, for the 30,000 Malaysians who make the daily commute to Singapore to work, their lives have taken a dramatic turn since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. As regulations tighten at the Singapore-Malaysia border, they are torn between earning an income or being together with their families.
So we would be working as usual. Okay. Thank you all, for continuously putting all the hard work.
Vimalan works as an operations manager at DHL. He elected to stay in Singapore. His healthcare clients rely on his team to ensure that medical equipment reaches them on time. These deliveries now have become a matter of life and death.
One of the biggest challenges is getting these goods from the moment they are ready to go to the customers. With COVID-19, we do face a lot of flight cancellation. The biggest sacrifice is being away from family. My daughter, she's about 7 months plus now. This is the picture of my daughter. So she started, dragging things, whatever she could grab, get a hold of. What's her name? Samyuka. So she's being taken care by both our mothers, mine and my wife's mother, in JB currently. So I would say I'm missing an important part in her life also, the growth, the changes, and this crucial time.
The night Malaysia announced the lockdown, Vimalan and his wife faced the toughest decision of their lives. Stay at home in Malaysia with no pay, or cross the border and leave behind their baby girl.
Me and my wife. She was probably a little more, emotionally, she was a bit down because we had the assumption it's going to be 14 days away from the kid, probably the longest period away from her.
But 14 days became 28. On March 25th, Malaysia extended its border closure for another 2 weeks.
The Prime Minister saying that the government has decided to extend the movement control order, otherwise known as the MCO, in the country for another 2 weeks. He said, we are a big family, and he said we need to take care of each other in these difficult times.
We thought it's only going to be 14 days. We'll be able to see my family, my daughter. But unfortunately, they extended. It was very sad, very depressing to see this kind of news. In order for me to be here, that also meant that I need to be away from the family, away from my daughter. And even though, me and my wife are both working in Singapore now, but we are staying, separately because different employer, different accommodation. So I believe that those are the, sacrifices.
Far away from their loved ones, how are the Malaysians who've chosen to stay in Singapore now coping with their life in their home away from home?
I'm off today and I'm actually going to see my wife now. It's a bit rare that both of us are off on the same day, so I'm actually happy to go and see her. Okay, so that's my wife. Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good.
Okay. Hey.
1 meter distance.
Okay. So.
Biscuits.
Biscuits.
Vimalan and his Malaysian wife Maya, who works at a public hospital, have been separated for over 4 weeks. They're staying in different hotels, paid for by their respective employers.
So, how was work?
Because of this COVID thing, we have a lot of manpower. None of our staffs actually managed to go for leaves, so everybody are actually on board and deployed to ICUs and different wards. Dal.
You want to add anything else?
I have decided to come back to Singapore to actually support my organization and my colleagues. I had my child who was taken care of by my mother and my mother-in-law, so which I think that they were in a good hands, so that I can actually do my part.
The couple will stay in Singapore for another 2 weeks, but their thoughts remain with their 7-month-old daughter.
Samyukta, hello.
Samyukta.
So it's difficult to actually get my daughter when she's away.
It's a little tough for us, because that's the only one rituals that we used to do every night, and since we are not there, and maybe she might be wondering where's the mommy and daddy.
As a father, I just want to send a message to her that I'm here working hard is to actually provide a better future for us and for you.
And let her know that, we love her so much.
What Vimalan and his wife don't realize is that Singapore is about to announce its circuit breaker measures. It will be a while before they see each other again. On April 3rd, about 3 weeks after Malaysia announces its MCO, Singapore goes into partial lockdown.
Most workplaces will be closed, and there'll also be tighter restrictions on movements and gatherings.
Priya's company has housed her at a local hotel. Her husband, Bala Murali, has also decided to stay in Singapore. His company has arranged separate accommodation. So even though Priya and Bala Murali remain in the same country, with the new circuit breaker measures, they aren't allowed to meet face to face.
அவங்கள பார்க்க ரொம்ப மிஸ் பண்றேம்மா.
Although the couple are considered immediate family members, under Singapore's strict circuit breaker rules, living in different accommodation means they are viewed as different households.
My children whole is 3 children. My mother stay in my home. He jaga my kids. My husband now very lonely. Now same place also have, but cannot see. Yesterday he cried, right? I say for money cannot do anything. Stay only. I say must say for kids lah. For me, I no cry one. Normally I never cry. I very anything say I say okay okay. Sleeping time I cry one.
When Malaysia first announced it was closing its borders on March 18th, technician Johari decided to leave Johor Bahru and stay in Singapore for work. Commuting daily was no longer an option due to quarantine orders in both Singapore and Malaysia. What he didn't expect was a second extension, which would see the movement control order spill into Ramadan. Singapore also extended its circuit breaker, which means Johari will not be able to see his family for longer.
I feel that this coronavirus it changed my life. I feel very sad for this month of Ramadan, as I cannot get together with my family. Normally we have fasting and break our fasting together. Si ini mana?
Ubat ayam tu dia, ubat ayam.
Itu apa? Buat asma pun dengan sikit. Lagi tinggal 2 biji. Dah potong 2. Kat sini tak ada stok.
Tapi macam mana ya?
Yes, I'm still feel scared as my father's still working at there. He might easily get infected because he's old and he has asthma. As we know that coronavirus can easily attack our lungs, so I'm afraid that he might be easily get the virus.
Because it will keep on extending. Okay, it might be not sufficient for me to have all my medicine. That is, they more worry. And they also said that anything happen to me, they also cannot come in here. That's the problem.
As of 23rd March, all short-term visitors from anywhere in the world are barred from entering Singapore. Going back to Malaysia is also not an option for Johari due to quarantine orders. In a time when many are losing work, Johari is worried he won't have a job if he returns home.
Amma rawala, ceri amma repotana. Okay. Amma miss you. Lena, amma sudah ayam mama I love you sebab I love you.
Malaysia has extended its movement control order for a 3rd time until the end of April. Singapore too has extended its circuit breaker till June. This means Priya will likely not see her husband and her 3 daughters for even longer.
The lockdown, they extend some more, okay? If you don't want to stay, we don't force you. I will give you the lodging, will be paid by the company, okay? We work together. Thank you for staying in Singapore to help the company.
I talking, my last daughter cry when mommy come. He say, I tell her, I cannot. I now come also no use. Mommy still in home, no money, no anything. After I want to buy susu all like that. Better I stay here.
Families pulled apart, an uncertain future. These are the stories of those living between lockdowns.
First thing probably I'll do when I get back home is to give my daughter a hug.
With infection numbers rising on both sides of the border, it's uncertain when they will be reunited.
I just want to sit down and then have a good life with my family members.
So for now, life's about surviving and survival, and hope for better days to come.